Hi 5D Voyagers. I want to talk about going to your end and dwelling therein, daring to assume. There's a quote by Neville Goddard that says, "Dare to assume. You don't need anyone's permission. Though your senses may deny it, though reason may deny it, no, everything else in your world may deny it, dare to assume." And I can't remember the exact ending of that quote, but eventually you persist in an assumption until it hardens into fact. Fact being that it is materialized in your external world. So go to your end and dwell therein. What does that also mean? It means to think of the quote unquote end of that desire or that realization of that desire. So if you want a house, be like, thinking about yourself having a housewarming party in there instead of just like looking for houses, or being a valued employee at a company, or just declaring it and being bold in your assumption, though the evidence that your senses may deny it. If you want quantum healing, it's possible to just claim it, I'm healed, and you'll be naturally moved to fulfill that desire. So you can be bold in that assumption. You can dare to assume. All that being said, though, too, is to go to your end and dwell therein. And even in terms of conscious creation, I have put myself down a lot of different rabbit holes and kind of essentially overthought and overanalyze things. There's an Alan Watts quote that says, "A thinker who thinks too much, the only thing that he has left to think about is thoughts themselves." And I have done that a lot in terms of manifestations as well. I have conditioned my manifestations based on certain things. I need to be healed. I need to have my self-concept done, core beliefs. I need to do this. This can't show up until this can happen. So don't condition your desires based on things. You don't necessarily need money to get a house. It can come that way, but you can just go to the end of like, why am I now in this beautiful, lovely home? Why am I living in it? Etc., etc. That being said, go to your end and dwell therein. In terms of actually the process of conscious creation, one of the things that happened with me is like, I feel stuck. I feel like I'm in a manifestor's trap. I know that this works. Where is it? And I was like, how do I get out of this? And I was like, well, my thoughts, my intentions always flow to their intended outcome. And I was trying to I've shifted into a different dimension. And then I was like, no, go to the end while they're in. I'm free of my manifestor's trap. Or I was constantly affirming, I need to do all this self-concept work. I need to do all this self-concept work in order to receive this certain manifestation. And yes, I 100% believe self-concept work is tantamount in being a really successful, lovely, conscious creator and actually just feeling good and living a more noble and happy life. But you don't need to condition your desires based on the self-concept work. And one of my beautiful friends, Angela, was like, why don't you just go to the end? Your self-concept is unshakable. And I was like, that's not the right word. So we said, my self-concept's whole and complete. And I made that declaration, and then a few days later, I ran across a beautiful subliminal by another coach named Dylan James that had a complete foundational self-concept subliminal, and I was able to receive that as well. And even how do I know my core beliefs are in alignment? How do I know there are any other things that I need to figure out? And go to your end and dwell therein. My core beliefs are in total alignment. That's it. Well, how do I know I'm not making one manifestation dependent upon the other manifestation? Go to your end and dwell therein. Nope, all my manifestations are independent and they can show up exactly as I am, here and now. So go to your end and dwell therein. Whatever it is you desire, the answer is always to go to the end of it. I have manifested in steps and have manifested quote unquote in the middle. You can always kind of quote unquote mess with the middle. You won't mess up your manifestation. If you hold the core belief, there's nothing you can do to mess it up. But I have found that it's kind of just simpler and more effective. This is a belief I hold. You don't have to take this belief as well. If you're noticing any limiting beliefs in my thinking, I'm more than happy if you want to call me to a higher level of thinking as well. but going to the end of the assumption just makes it really simple and easier. I have had situations where I'm like, this person is going to ask me for this. This person's going to ask for this. This person's going to ask for this of me. And I got them asking. That's not what I wanted. I wanted them to, make this other thing happen. So go to your end, dwell therein, abide therein, and rest in your loving awareness. Rest in your awareness, your power. I think Christ is consciousness and God is awareness, and that's how I see it. And the Holy Spirit as faith in the unseen, trust in the unseen. And once again, I'm not religious, I'm spiritually ambiguous, but I love the universal knowledge and ancient wisdom that is available in all these different lineages and modalities. So go to your end and dwell therein. I love you, I value, I accept you. You are limitless. I am limitless. We are limitless. So mote it be. As I speak it, I create it. So live the kiss.